Hey everyone, welcome to another Drum Talk TV News Desk report, the final one for the year. So we'll be off for a couple weeks. If I'm not mistaken, I think January 8th could be the earliest that this will be back. I guess we shall see, and people keep an eye out for all that. But yeah, Danielle couldn't make it to this one, but I figured I'd sub for her, and we do miss her. But yeah, how's it going, Ariana?
We do miss her. We miss her always, but we do love having you, Steven, Superman, producer man, always on the show.
Right. Yeah, I just realized I had our screens in the wrong position
Oh, was I
relative to our
Steven
names.
for a
But
moment and you were
yeah,
Ariana?
yeah. Right. And you're saying what an amazing producer I am. But yeah, so everyone, we have some music news items we'll cover, and we'll also talk a little bit about what's coming up for Drum Talk TV and Drum Talk TV Brilliance. And feel free to chime in on anything we talk about. But first off, on the top of the show, we have this icebreaker. So, in the spirit of the season, Ariana, do you have any favorite holiday soundtracks or albums that are kind of like a staple for you?
I do. And
Okay, thanks for answering that question.
I do. And I don't, I want to make sure everyone that's tuning in is sitting down because this is one
Right.
of the two greatest Christmas albums of all time. Well, three. We're gonna start heavy with Celine Dion, one of the
Okay.
greatest Christmas albums of all time, Holiday. And then I'm going to come in with maybe something you weren't realizing. Are you familiar with Rosie O'Donnell? But back in the day, Rosie O'Donnell, when she used to have her talk show,
I'm aware, but I've never really seen any clips or anything related to that.
it was one of the greatest talk shows of all time. I used to watch it
Okay.
religiously with my mom. I think it was like 4 p.m. every day of the week. We would watch it. It was awesome. She, in 1999, released a duet Christmas album called A Rosy Christmas. And it is some of the greatest Christmas songs you'll ever hear in your life. Celine Dion duet, Cher, Elton John, Billy Porter, In Sync, which I was very obsessed with them back in the day. And then she released in 2000 another album called Another Rosy Christmas. So I'm going to leave that there with you and everyone else listening in. And you can thank me later when your holidays just get a lot brighter after you listen to both of those.
Okay, nice. Yeah, for me, I mean, since I'm a Yes fan, I guess it's no surprise that John Anderson's Three Ships album, his 1985 Christmas album, is a staple for me. And there are other Christmas albums from other members that are good too, but I think that one's a little bit higher, like at the top for me. I also sometimes, maybe not every year, but some years, I kind of like to listen to I think it's called the Star Wars Christmas album. Let me just double check the
Whoa.
title of that. So this would have come out in 1980. Oh, that's right. Okay, it's called Christmas in the Stars. So it's got C3PO and R2D2. Like it starts with them, and you get to hear 3PO singing, and there's some kind of funny, like squeaky voices along that way. They're kind of chipmunk esque
Yeah.
sometimes. So it's silly, but it's holiday fun. So I think it's kind of an underrated gem, that one.
I didn't even realize that was a thing. So I'm going to add it to my Steven producer tunes to listen to playlist.
Right, yeah. So now we get into the music news. So the first thing, this is a sad one. Zakir Hussein, who is known as a master tabla player, he passed away the other day, December
Oh,
15th, at age 73 from complications arising due to idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
no.
And, you know, me not being a drummer, like, this was someone I'd maybe heard of now and then, but wasn't on my radar that much. But after his passing, people that I do like am a bit familiar with, I saw that they made posts about him and his impact and working with him. So, yeah, this is it's always sad whenever we lose someone.
Oh my God, of course. And it's also such one of those, beautiful, bittersweet things where you can see what an impact music can have, to people who aren't musicians, who are musicians, who heard a song once or, listened to a specific musician once or twice, and their entire life just like transcends this beautiful kind of path of greatness for people. I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but no, that is very sad. But how beautiful the legacy he left behind.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So, people, if you're not familiar with Zakir, go ahead and look up some videos of him. There's some really cool ones online. We even shared some, or at least one of them on the Drum Talk TV page on Facebook recently. But yeah, gone but not forgotten. So, what else do we have on our list of news items here, Ariana?
Well, Stephen, we have a basis. So I can hear my voice echoing. I'm not sure if it's me, and I'm not sure if it's
Oh, it might be because it's coming through my computer and I don't have my earbuds in.
okay. I don't know if everyone else can hear the double Ariana Stella
Right.
vocals.
Yeah, I'll put in my earbuds just in case.
I'm sure you're all really enjoying it. I'm not. It's terrifying.
But yeah, you were saying?
Oh, yes, I was saying. So, bassist Geezer Butler appeared on Life Minute last week and said, it's good you're all sitting down. He said that Ozzy Osbourne wants a Black Sabbath reunion for his eventual final show. Whoa. He suggested at his very final concert for the four of us to get up on stage and maybe do 3 or 4 songs together, and that would be it. Finished. Butler says such an event would be a one time thing. Number one, that is the greatest name of all time, Geezer Butler. I wish that was
Yeah.
my name. Number two, that would be incredible, especially for those Black Sabbath fans, to be able to see them all perform one last time for the final time. That's some news.
Yeah, because I think it's been several years since they were last active as a unit. So I don't know when Ozzy would eventually have his final show, but to have that idea in mind, it just shows that, there's reverence for the band
Hmm.
that he worked with for so long. Like, he was very much part of that, and they were part of that whole thing. So, whenever that happens, it will be like such a widely talked about event.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And next up, there's a recent interview with Times Radio involving U2's drummer Larry Mullen Jr., and he revealed that he was recently diagnosed with dyscalculia, which affects his ability to count.
What?
He mentioned this while discussing a new feature documentary titled Left Behind, which tells the story of 5 moms trying to form the first state school in New York City for dyslexic children. And Mullins, whose son is dyslexic, produced and wrote for the film, which premiered at Woodstock Film Festival this past October. So, yeah, it's really something that he was open about. This is what I'm experiencing. If because counting is very much part of drumming, isn't it, Ariana?
That's horrible. Yeah, I mean, counting is the whole core pillar of drumming. So using losing your ability to count or having it be affected, yeah, that's extremely difficult. Um,
Yeah, I think it's a sobering reminder that some people like to look at the musicians they look up to as perfect robots, but we all know that musicians are human, so it's
mhm.
like it's not always going to be perfect, and people should have a bit more patience when they see their idols, for lack of a better word, playing, and it might not be exactly how they want it to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, that's just so crazy, and I've never heard of that before either. So I hope that we get some updates, as the months kind of move forward on his status, and hopefully he'll be able to find some sort of something that can help with it, or get him back on
Yeah,
count.
because I think this may have been something he's had for at least a while. I'm not sure how long, but
Mm,
yeah, he's aware of it and was open talking about it recently. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of how we have this other Drum Talk TV original series, Drumming Injury Talk, and
mhm,
so kind of taking away the stigma of stuff that can affect drumming abilities or stuff that can happen while drumming, I guess.
mhm. Like hitting yourself in the face with your own drumstick.
Right, yeah.
Last Thursday, Billie Eilish, whose birthday is today. So, Billie Eilish, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you will at some point, happy birthday to you. Made an
Right.
appearance on Tiny Desk Concerts, a web series of live concerts hosted by NPR Music. This performance included the songs The Greatest, L'amour de ma vie, I Love You, and Birds of a Feather. I actually saw this and it was really, really good. Do you watch the Tiny Desk concert series?
So it's not something I knew about until looking up these news items. Like, is it like a huge, really popular? I mean, it's by NPR, so I imagine it probably is like super popular, right?
I think everything starts out really small. I mean, hence the name like Tiny Desk, and then it gets really big. I think they're at
Right.
a point now where it's a huge thing that people will watch. But I remember back in the day, like years and years and years ago, it was something a bit different. And to have Billie Eilish play on it, I think that definitely tells you something about how successful the platform is now. But it's pretty cool. You should check it out. Sometimes
No,
it's
no, yeah, I was able to check it
oh,
out
you
on
didn't see it.
yeah, on the YouTube channel. It's about 22 minutes long, so it's not a huge time commitment, but it feels like there's a lot packed into it. Like it's got a
Mm,
really chill vibe. I really
mhm.
liked how relaxed the setting felt, and Billie Eilish's brother was also present, and yeah, it makes me curious. Like, who else has done Tiny Desk? I should also see their performance there. Yeah.
I mean, I just so many people have done it, and I think a lot more people are doing it now. So I imagine you could. I don't know if Yes has done it. I'm not sure, but honestly,
Probably not. I feel like I would have heard
you would have
about
known.
that. Yeah.
I remember when I like years and years and years ago when I was still in college, there was this series. I want to say it was called the Black Cab series. Maybe it's called the.
Okay.
But anyways, musicians would get in the back of a cab and they would perform a song, but they wouldn't be able to have their instruments, and the cab would be driving. And it was one of the coolest series that I've ever seen because some people like they were playing with spoons or had like a portable thingy majig that they would have to, or like a kid's toy, like a musical like kid's toy that they had to play, and they had to play like a specific track that you would know. So it's really cool. You should look that up too. That's a really fun one. I don't know if they do it anymore, and I can't remember if it was out of London or not. But anyways, that's one for you to check out.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
But yeah, so the next item, there's a documentary coming up in early 2025 to streaming services. This
Mm.
is Goodbye Horses: The Many Lives of Q Lazarus. And the quote here says the film will be released in 2025 along with an album of songs spanning her entire musical career. So I'm not super familiar with Q Lazarus. I just know the
Mm.
song Goodbye Horses, which pretty much anyone who's seen The Silence of the Lambs has heard the song there. But
Right.
from what I understand, Q Lazarus is kind of reclusive or a recluse. So I'm interested to learn more about her and see like what this documentary has to say.
Yeah, I'm loving. There's like so many documentaries coming out. I love it. There's like so many things you can learn about, and so many people are able to have a voice and tell their story, which is very exciting because there's many stories to be told. Stephen.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Metallica took part in a Helping Hands benefit concert last Friday. The foundation, All Within My Hands, is dedicated to creating sustainable communities by supporting workforce education, the fight against hunger, and other critical local services. Wow. This show had deep cuts in their acoustic set, which had Low Man's lyric Helpless, the first ever rendition of Bachman Turner Overdrive's Away from Home, If Darkness Had a Sun, and Nothing Else Matters. Their electric set was a bit more traditional. Are you a Metallica fan?
I've heard a few of their hits. I know a couple people that um like maybe one of them I've known since, or I think both of them that I've known since I went to high school. Like they're more familiar with Metallica than I am. But
Mm.
whenever I hear about Metallica, the first thing that comes to mind for me is that one Simpsons episode where they appear and Otto the bus driver is like Metallica, you know that voice that he does. But yeah, what about you? Are you a huge Metallica fan or?
Not quite, but it doesn't mean I'm not a fan. You know,
Right. Yeah.
I think they're. I think anyone that can do a double bass pedal isn't messing around and deserves a medal.
Okay. Yeah,
You
a
know,
double bass pedal metal, you know.
metal's like known for a lot of drummers who um who use a double bass drum pedal. Which I mean, already you're doing three things, or technically maybe four, depending on where your left foot is, or right if you're a lefty, and then you add a double bass drum pedal in there. You're literally using all of your limbs. So it's quite impressive.
Yeah, and it's cool seeing these legacy bands like being involved in charities and whatnot. I feel like we've been talking a bit about some of those in recent news episodes.
That's actually a very good point. Well, good for them for getting, giving back in their successful career.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
Yeah. So this past Saturday, Paul McCartney, he used to be in a little indie band called the Beatles, like 50 years ago
I
or
think I've
something.
heard of them. I'm not. I don't think I'm too familiar though.
Yeah, I think something called Wings. It's not a restaurant; it's also a band. But yeah, but this past Saturday at his Manchester concert, he gave apparently a rare performance of "Wonderful Christmas Time." So
Oh,
this song is a Christmas classic, and I guess he rarely plays this, so this was a huge deal.
I'd lose my mind if I was in the crowd and he played that. That's such a good. That's always on the Christmas playlist, and it pops up, and you're like, oh, and then it gets into it, and you're just like, oh, and then you get so happy.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Nice.
So those are the news items and music. Next up, we'll talk a bit about what's coming up for Drum Talk TV.
Ooh.
So one of the things that happened recently was the Keith Moon Drumming Challenge, and we got some amazing submissions.
Mm.
The deadline was the 15th recently, and so we're taking 2 weeks to announce the winners, and that'll be broadcast on Facebook and YouTube at Drum Talk TV. So in about 2 weeks, keep an eye out for that, and the people who submitted will be kept in the loop about all that. So yeah, I'm real excited to see who ends up getting first, second, and third place. Because sifting through the submissions, it's like
Mm.
there's a few of the same songs but done kind of differently because each drummer
Hmm.
is different.
Yeah. I wonder which song is going to get it too. I'm always intrigued. The previous challenge was really cool to see who won and how they were playing and their style. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
the John
excited too.
Bonham challenge. Yeah.
hmm okay, so to Sunday, December 22nd, noon Pacific, Dan will be live on Drum Talk TV original series Under the Influence, talking with co-host Lou Catarola, and the discussion will be holiday themed. Which
Yeah.
festive is that?
Yeah, and I actually have a promo vid that they put together.
Oh, fun.
I'll play a few minutes of that, so check it out, folks.
Well, you know what that music means, folks, and the graphic that is our player. It's holiday time. It's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything, whatever you celebrate spiritually or religiously, often happens in the month of December. Lou Calderola and myself have a very special episode planned for Sunday the 22nd. Lou, tell them about it.
Yeah, happy holidays, all. This one's going to be a fun topic. So we're going to do all selections from various holiday themed performances from bands. A lot of them from classic rock bands, but some of them might even be some of your traditional stuff too. You never know what we're up to.
Yeah, neither do we. I mean, Lou's right. And I'm going to ask Lou to give either a hint or a spoiler as a little teaser to one of the 4 selections you're going to be doing. And maybe each of us can show a full version of one of them, but we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about that. But what's one of the ones you're going to do, if you don't mind giving a spoiler?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, getting the selections for this because there's so much great stuff to pick from. But one of the ones that I definitely wanted to do and found a really great version that we're able to use to play along to, which it's such a good version. I hope it doesn't stump the bots out there monitoring things, is Queen's Thank God It's Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, what a great version, too. Just masterful. Freddie. There's no one like Freddie. Never was before him, never during him, will never be again. So one of mine is something that I'm actually recording this evening in a room that we have here that is about 35 by 15 by 12-foot ceiling. It's all wood floor raised. It sounds amazing in there. And my wife, Enja, here she is right here, is going to sing. I'm going to play my darbuka that's not here. It's usually right there. Actually, it's hers that I'm going to play. Don't tell her. And our friend Daniel Philpott is going to play guitar, and we're going to do Greg Lake's I Believe in Father Christmas. And super excited about it. We're going to record the whole thing, post it, and then I may show just a sliver of that like we normally do, a minute or two, and then put a link to the full version that will have already been posted. Or I might play the whole thing, show the whole thing. We'll see. And I got 3 other selections. Lou has 3 others besides the Queen masterpiece for Christmas that he mentioned. And I couldn't find a usable Hanukkah song. So maybe I'll just sing Dreidel, Dreidel, Dreidel or something. Maybe spin the dreidel and whoever calls the character wins a shirt or something. I don't know. But yeah, really looking forward to this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. This coming Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. Yeah, always fun when you get to see like what their selections are and hear their reasonings for them.
I know with the previews of the song that Dan's going to play, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, for sure. So, other stuff going on with Drum Talk TV Brilliance, and Brilliance being our membership site, and we've been doing game shows. These last few have been like decades themed music trivia games. Yeah, and the next one is gonna be funk themed. We were originally gonna have it tomorrow, but we decided to reschedule it for Tuesday, January 21st. 6 p.m. Pacific, so that's 9 p.m. Eastern US time. And yeah, that's going to be fun. So we'll be posting promos about that as it gets closer. I've updated the events on the site and on Facebook and whatnot. So yeah, and we've got some other themes planned. Like we pretty much have several months planned ahead, so that'll be really cool to implement that and the things that will alternate between. I also want to quickly show this promo that basically sums up the features of the Drum Talk TV Brilliance site. So check this out, folks. It'll just be a little less than a minute.
Drum Talk TV Brilliance is for you if you want to enjoy exclusive live stream concerts, want to participate in fan Q&As with big artists, want to play fun music-themed game shows online with a chance to win prizes, you're a drummer and want videos posted of you playing to your favorite music without it being muted or pulled. and so much more. And it's only $12 a month or $120 a year. That's less than a combo meal at most fast food restaurants. That's an insane deal.
That's amazing.
It's not just for drummers. It's for all music fans.
So
What a
that's
deal, Steven.
yeah, so that's drumtalktvbrilliance.com, people, and we've got a couple Q&As scheduled in the new year, and we're gathering the promo materials for the first one that's coming in January. So keep an eye out for that, everyone. And I also want to quickly mention that next week on December 23rd, Dad and I will do a Yes Shift episode. So that'll be simulcast on Drum Talk TV and Yes Shift on Facebook and YouTube. So I think it'll be our last episode for this year before going on a bit of a break and coming back in January. We'll be talking about a Christmas track that Yes guitarist Steve Howe posted online, and we'll also be doing a this year in Yes type thing, kind of doing a year in review, talking about some of the Yes related events, whether it be the band or people who are in the band or used to be in the band and what they were up to this past year and sort of looking forward. So that'll be a lot of fun to do.
Cool.
All right, so now we have the final segment of the show, This Day in Music, December 18th. So going backward, starting from 2005, Fairy Tale of New York was voted the favorite Christmas song ever in a VH1 poll. The song by The Pogues and Kirsty MacColl took the top spot. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You was voted into second place, and Wham's Last Christmas came third. Other songs voted into the top 10 were Mistletoe and Wine, Sir Cliff Richard at number 4, Merry Christmas Everybody, or Merry Xmas Everybody by Slade at number 5, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day by Wizard at number 6, Christmas Time by The Darkness at number 7, Savior's Day by Sir Cliff Richard at number 8, Do They Know It's Christmas, 1984 by Band-Aid at number 9, and Lonely This Christmas by Mud at number 10. Interesting. So yeah, some of these sound familiar.
Fairy Tale of New York, that beat, All I Want for Christmas Is You. I've never heard that song before.
Yeah, I feel like All I Want for Christmas Is You gets talked about more, especially these days.
Oh my god, it's been branded the song of Christmas. It's insane. And every time it comes on, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me so happy. There's like they sprinkled something in it, so you hear it and you're like, ah. It is a great song.
Nice.
Okay, 2004, this day, December 18th, 2004, a guitar played by, George Harrison and John Lennon sold for 294,000 pounds, which is actually $570,000. What a difference in the exchange rate there.
Yeah,
at auction in New York, the Gibson SG guitar was used by Harrison from 1966 to 1969, including the recording of Revolver, and by Lennon during the White Album sessions. Other items sold in the Christie's auction included a letter by Kurt Cobain, which fetched 10,000 pounds, which is $19,400. Oh my gosh. And a school book report by Britney Spears for 1,000 pounds. That's great.
Yeah, I wish I could sell one of my old book reports.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. All right. And further back, 1972, December 18th, Bob Dylan started filming his role in the American Western drama Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, along with James Coburn and Chris Christopherson. Bob Dylan composed the score and songs for the film, most prominently Knockin' on Heaven's Door.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never seen this film, but that does remind me, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that today is actually the release of that Bob Dylan movie starring, it's called A Complete Unknown, and it stars Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was out today. That's crazy.
Yeah. Whenever there's like a biopic or something where they cast an actor as the musician.
Mm,
Sometimes, depending on how into the musician one might be, it might be tough to get used to the new
yeah.
performance. I remember way back in high school, a friend talked about how in a Beatles biopic or two, like saying like they didn't even look like the Beatles, but to
Mm,
me, like the actors looked enough and felt enough like them.
sure.
And like looking up pictures of how Bob Dylan looked when he was younger, I could see why they cast Chalamet. There's a bit of a
A
similarity there.
resemblance. I always
Yeah.
think too that if you can disassociate yourself enough from the real person that it's based on, that actor should be able to forget that you're watching an actor and then bring you back to the person that they're playing. But I've heard only really good things about it, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, how perfect. And I also did not know that Bob Dylan was in a role, acting role, and I didn't realize he wrote that song for that movie. I learn so much every week, Stephen. I really do. It's such an educational thing
Yeah,
for me.
we're an educational show.
Yeah. Okay, and to reel it in, on December 18th, 1961, the Tokens started a 3-week run at #1 on the US singles chart with The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Didn't know that was the name of the band who sung that, but what an epic song. And it reached number 11 in the UK. I wouldn't think it would be a holiday favorite on December 18th. I wouldn't think that would be a song people would listen to, but it is
Well,
a
I
great.
mean, during the holidays, people do want to get more sleep, so maybe that was part of it.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Well, what a pleasure, Stephen. How much fun was this?
On a scale from 1 to 10, maybe only an 11.
I was gonna with a solid 12.5, so we're pretty much aligned on that one.
Okay, nice. All right.
Well, thanks everyone for watching, and happy
Yeah.
holidays to everyone. I hope you get lots of rest and listen.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone, and we'll see you in the new year.
to